Welcome to Code with Eto, and in this video we are going to look at SumIf. Our previous video we look at SumIf, that is when there is only one condition and one criteria. But with SumIfs you have a lot of conditions and then a lot of criteria that you have to meet. So with this data, we would like to know the salary of those in the northern region who are in the engineering department and then also who are on contract. The same way, we also like to know those in the upper east in the public relations and are fixed term. So that is why the SumIfs function will help us to do. So like usual, you start by typing your SumIfs. But with SumIfs, it starts with the name range. And another trick we use is we name the range instead of going and then dragging. We use the name of the range. So we have already named the ranges. So we will just go by using their name instead of going by the dragging to select the ranges. So we go by the name, and then the criteria one, it's asking us for the region. So this is the region. We have already named it. We've learned about naming of cells in our previous videos. And the criteria here will be this section. That's for the first criteria and then the first range. Now we are moving to the second criteria range, which is going to be department. So we have already named that as well. Department. And the criteria here is going to be this. And we are moving to the third one, which is the contract, the employee type. So we've already named. So we have employee type, comma, and this is going to be the criteria 3. So we are done with filling it, like meeting the requirements. So we just close the bracket and then we press enter. Salaries on this, yes. So we have it there. We select the format. For the format, it's going to be the same. So you can just select the range. You select the range and then you name it. You apply the same format. So we are going to do the same thing here. I can use a fill handler, but I want us to see for the purposes of practicing. Let's do it again. SumIfs, and then we are talking about this salary range here as a sum range. So we have salaries. Criteria 1 is to, but I want to follow as it's arranged here. So we have the region here. We've already named the range to be a criteria range. And the region should be this. Criteria range 2 should be department. It's easier when you name the range and then you use it in the formula rather than going to drag. And then you might make a mistake sometimes. Third one is the employee. Sorry, this one. So the next one is the employee type. Employee type. And then the criteria should be this. So one thing about the naming of the range is that when you name a range, you don't need to be holding anything constant. Yes. So when you are done, with a formula, you only use this, the field handle, and you drag it. So you realize that, so it means that we don't have anybody, we can't, there's no figure for employees who are in the upper east in their relationship and on fixed term. So you agree with me that this is very limited, okay? You can't do a lot of things you want to do here, okay? So maybe you want upper east, those in upper east who are on contract, and then you can also do that somewhere else, but I'll show you an easy way out. So we want to create a drop down, okay, where we can select the like this kind of drop down, and then the amount should be here. So first I'll show us how to create the drop down, and then we'll use the SumIf to get to the values here. So let me just create, design the page, okay. So we are going to create a drop down here whereby we can select the region, we can select a department, and we can select the employee type, just like we did here. So to do that, you select the cell you want, where you want the drop down to be. You go to data, and then you go to data validation. And then you select data validation here. And you select a list here. And then you tap on this, and then you come and then you select where the data is here. When you are done, you press enter and then OK. So you see the list here for yourself. So you do the same thing here. So this is what you do. We use the same strategy. SumIfs. The sum range is salaries, which I've already named, followed by the criteria, which are regions. So we use a region, and then we have that's the criteria range. We have the criteria here to be this cell. Then we have comma, and then we have criteria range 2, which is going to be department. We have it there, comma, and then we have the criteria 2 should be this, and then we have comma, and then we have employee type. So always name your range, and then use the name in the formula. It's very easier. And then you press enter. 0, meaning we don't have anyone who is on fixed term. So let me change and see to contract and see if you have the same value. Public relation. Let me format this to an amount. Yes. So let me change this to engineering. You realize that we have the same figure as we have here as well. Yes, so you can play around with this. You can play around. So this becomes very easier than this. This is more static, but this is more dynamic.